Who's a fat boy?
Podcast Fatboy.
Welcome back to episode 40 of Podcast Fatboy. Once again, I am back, and this is a big episode. I'll try not to make it too long, but I got lots of stuff to talk about. For one, just a couple of days ago, we had the 5-year anniversary of Podcast Fatboy. The first episode, hellos and goodbyes, April 8th, 2014. We got to talk about 5 years. What is going on? Have I reached my goals? Has this podcast been a success? It's probably the answer no, across the board. What I had in mind for this podcast when it started is not what it is now, but that is okay. That is okay. I thought I was going to have a trainer that would come on, who would help more. I'd have more guests on. And you know what? I was learning how to podcast. It was my first ever thing. I was trying to really go for it. I wanted to monetize it. I wanted to make it big in the health podcast world. But that didn't happen. Because sometimes you get a little too inside your own head. You get a little too busy. And I just wasn't digging what I was doing with it. I like having people on. I like having guests on and talking to them about stuff. But I don't just want to talk about health. And that's why the slogan of this podcast now is, we're chewing the fat and we're trying to lose it. I'll dab on some health issues. I like my health news, especially when some big stuff comes up, like they changed the health guidelines. That's huge. That was fun to talk about because now that's lit a fuse. I was just reading an article today. There's more and more studies coming out just telling you how bad meat is for us. How you shouldn't, like red meat. Red meat is getting a shit rap finally. Okay? We should not be eating that much red meat. I really do try to limit it. I do have bacon occasionally. I do have steak occasionally. I rarely eat burgers. I dip into McDonald's sometimes. I do dip into the McDonald's, but not very much. I will say, I'm trying to do once a month, once every 2 months at the most, if it happens. But I am steering clear of that shit because it's bad for you. It is bad for you. It's not good for you. And it's really not that filling. When you have a fast food, it's shit. But I do love the art of it. I love that they've created this food that doesn't go bad. And I think about all the people in the history of time that never got to experience fast food. And that's why even vegans love fast food too. And that's why they try to replicate all the garbage fast food that we eat to get you in eating. It's healthier. It's still high in fat and, oils and whatnot. It's not good for you, this shit that the vegans make. But we're all, like, it's just a part of our culture now to have that kind of food on hand. French fries. Did I talk about French fries in the last episode? They're apparently the fucking worst for you. Fried potatoes. It's not good. Acrylamide. Need to fear acrylamide. So we are at the 5-year anniversary of Podcast Fatboy. I'm in the Charlie Bucket studio, and I've got some news about the Charlie Bucket studio. As you know, I haven't done many episodes since last August. I think I've only done a handful, but I have talked about how the house that I live in, the Charlie Bucket Studio, CBS, the original acronym, has been for sale for over 7 months. It's been hell for all the tenants to live in this house. I do not wish this shit on any of you renters out there. It's a very awkward privacy invasion that happens when people come into your apartment to possibly kick you out so they can move in, But the house has been sold, embarrassingly, well below the first price which I told my landlord, there's no way she's going to get anywhere close to what she originally wanted. $2.5 million. Sold for $2,045,000. Okay, that's about $455,000. $500,000 under the original asking price. I am not a real estate guru. I don't even really follow the market much. I just know it's a fucking nightmare of a market and everything is overpriced, from people buying from foreign countries to money laundering that has apparently jacked up the prices of homes. There's a lot of organized crime and stuff that are buying homes and jacking up. There's apparently enough of it that it's jacking up the prices. But the market cooled because of the stress tests and everything. So it's not what it once was. It's not as poppin'. It's still poppin' in Toronto, but it's not as poppin' as it once was. The sales have gone down a little bit. They've normalized a little bit. You know, people are losing money on their sales now. Could this house have gone for $2.5 million 3 years ago, 4 years ago? I think it could have. Possibly 2.3, 2.4. There's a lot of reasons why I didn't get that price. Okay? You got to have a good real estate agent to get that price for you in an old fucking beat up home that is this. My apartment and the apartment across the hall are the whole reason that made this house look good. Upstairs is a fucking horror show. But the land is very unique here. So Charlie Bucket fucking Studios, as I sit here in my bed recording the podcast as I do now, could be out of my ass come September 1st. We hear that the new landlord wants to keep tenants, but our rent is so dirt cheap, I have a hard time believing that. I have a hard time believing that he's going to want to keep us in here at our cheap-ass rent because he can't jack shit. He can only raise it a little incremental amount. It will do nothing. He'll get another $25 a month. It's garbage. They ain't going to pay shit. So there's a chance I might have to move and play and pay the insane rent that is in this city now. Might have to leave the city. But how far do we go? You know? We don't know. But the good news is I don't have any fucking strangers gawking at my home anymore. I have the privacy that I pay for back. So if you are a renter, cherish the time you have in there, because you never know when the fucking slumlords are going to want to sell the fucking house or your apartment building, wherever. It could be coming. People might start to panic now that the market is evening out. Anyway, back to the 5-year anniversary. I can't say it's gone great as far as what I set out to do. I wanted to get my weight down below 200 pounds. I haven't done that yet. I have exercised a lot more than I have in the past, especially when I started this in 2014. I'm playing ice hockey now, as I've talked about on the pod. But that's coming to an end next week. I got 2 more games, and then I'm done for the summer until the fall. And who knows what's going to happen? I don't know if this team's going to stick together. No fucking clue. It's like impossible to get guys to come out for the games. So I might be going back into hockey retirement. I don't know. But I do love it. I feel a lot stronger. I feel like my lower body has never been stronger. Maybe, or just not, since I was a personal trainer. But, I can't say I'm losing that much weight. I think I'm around 220. My peak was 230, so I have brought it down a bit. But if I'm to be married at some point this year in the fall, I'd like to get down. I'd like to get down below 2. Going to a wedding next month in South Carolina, I wanted to, get down a little bit more. I still got time. In a month, I could lose, if I worked at it, I could lose 10 pounds, before the wedding in South Carolina, before I got to go to the fucking States. If you people from the States are listening, hi, how you doing? I'm a little nervous to come to your country. It's a shit show. Your president's a fucking shit show. And, you know, we have a premier, essentially the same as the governor, if you Americans are listening, the governor of Ontario. He's a fucking shit show. Like, this fucking guy, he's punishing teachers and kids in schools. He's making all these fucking cuts. You know, the kids with autism program, shit like that. But what he does put in is fucking bucket beer and tailgating. And I'm not talking about when you're ramming your car's, front up the other person's ass. I'm talking about the great sloppy American tradition of having a party in a parking lot before a sporting event. Apparently we're getting that. That's what he's wasting time and taxpayers' money on. Boy, we need to be able to drink in parking lots before sports games, before we go to a Leaf game, a Raptors game, Blue Jays. Like we need to fuel people with more alcohol. Have we not learned anything? You want people trashed when they go in? It's going to be a fucking nightmare. That's not our style in Canada. We don't fucking tailgate. Fucking Doug Ford. Fuck. So back to the 5-year anniversary. You know, I'm happy to where it is now. I don't really promote the pod, as you know. If you've stumbled across it, congratulations. You found a hidden gem in the rough. I love to just get on the mic and rant a little bit about shit because I feel like I can be honest with you guys here about how I'm feeling. And how fucking pissed I am about, you know, some of the state of my life in a lot of ways. You know, I'm in my mid-30s now. I gotta fucking shit or get off the pot. Okay? I can't keep this lifestyle up that I'm having. My shit job. You know, going to auditions and shit. I got a fucking audition for a goddamn commercial on a fucking Saturday this week. Can you believe this shit? It's very rare for that to happen, but when it does, especially in the state of mind I'm in now with auditions and everything, it fucking just revs me up. I hate this shit because I know it's probably going to be a waste of my fucking time, but I am trying to get that commercial 10 years straight. I'm trying to have I've booked commercials in 9 straight years. I want to get that 10th year booked and then maybe call it. At least with commercials, I think I'm definitely going to call it. I can't do this kind of life because you know what? In the acting world, especially if you're a Canadian actor, there's 2 ways to do this career in regards to commercials. There's one where you just grind. You do everything you can. Little jobs here and there, as much as you can, and your whole life is just a grind. And then there's the naive method of acting, which is what I was planning on following, which is you do just enough commercial work to show that you have experience on a set, that you can work with a director, and then you move out of it and you move into TV and film work, and that's it. But there's just not that much opportunity here for good stuff in Canada. You gotta go to the States if you want to follow that model. And I'm not willing to go to that fucking country. I don't want to raise a kid in that country. I just want to visit that country every once in a while for a sporting event or a friend's wedding, or as I talked, I recorded in Maui. That was a beautiful place. Don't get to travel very much. That was fantastic. I'm definitely going to be taking the podcast to South Carolina next month. I will record there because I like to drop those pod fat pins all over the map. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll be the first goddamn podcast to be recording in that fucking black hole that's like 50 billion miles away. And, we got a picture of that now. Conspiracy theorists will say that it's probably just a blurry photo of a porn star's gaping asshole. But it's science, people. It is the real thing. It is pretty incredible that they were able to get a picture of a fucking black hole. It's fucking crazy. Okay? So, I'm continuing on. I got to think about summer exercise. How am I going to stay in shape? I'm trying to drink more water. I got the hockey game. We are in the finals of our shitty division, E division fucking finals. I need to be hydrated because if you go into a high level of cardiovascular activity and you're dehydrated, it feels pretty fucking horrible. And when I am done playing and I don't drink water after, really, I wonder why my heart rate won't slow down. I'm rocking, 85, 90 for a few hours after I exercise, which, I have a pretty low resting heart rate. I'm used to being around 60, 58. That's pretty good. That's good. That's healthy. So you gotta stay hydrated. I don't know why I've got such a problem with water. We've talked about it before in the podcast. I don't know why I fucking hate water so much. It is what my body is mainly made up of. Why can't I just give it what it wants? Because why? Because, companies like McDonald's, because of, since we were little kids drinking all the juice and the pop and everything, we are addicted to this shit. You ever see a baby when they first try a sweet drink or eat cake or something for the first time? You see all the mechanisms in their brain spinning. You see their eyes go wide, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, they don't like vegetables as much anymore. It's crazy. It's crazy how it works, the addiction to this shit. I do try to limit my sugar intake, but I guess my problem is I eat a lot of breadish type stuff, bread, cracker stuff, shit like that. And that shit just gets converted to sugar. So I'm probably just getting way too much fucking sugar still. I think if when people stop eating bread and shit, that's how they lose a lot of weight, because it's not just the fucking carbs, but this shit ain't converting to sugar. Because that's the shit that makes you bloated like fucking Kirby. Oh, but, it is my favorite fucking time of year, though, for sugar, because it's almost Easter, and my mom loves to still buy me Easter gifts. It's such a funny thing. It is nothing, we don't ever talk or think about Jesus or, Christianity at this time. It was never brought up. I don't even think I knew that it was related to it when I was a kid. It's about the motherfucking Easter eggs. It's about the search under the dusty fucking couches and picture frames and fucking, in the cookie jar, wherever, It was about the Easter egg hunt. Do kids still do the fucking Easter egg hunt? I fucking loved it. I loved it. And I loved it even more months later when you'd find one that I didn't find. And you got a little old chocolate on top of a light. It's a little warm and mushy, Wonder how much sugar's in one of those fucking eggs, It's gotta be nuts. It's like one of those little eggs. It's gotta be like 5 grams. 5 grams of sugar. You get 10 of those. You get 50 grams of sugar in 7 seconds. I don't eat that shit anymore, though. My mom just buys me pajamas and shit now. I don't know why she likes doing it so much, but she loves to buy gifts for Easter. I don't know. Hey, give me the clothes that Jesus couldn't have while he was on the cross. I don't know. But it's just a fun tradition. So moving on. I'm going to try to keep coming back to the 5-year anniversary type stuff, how long will this go on for? I don't know. I just love talking shit on here. I love talking shit about stuff in the world, talking shit about myself on here. And I don't know if it'll ever end until every last mug that I made is broken. I can't see how I can stop. But I do have some regrets. I do wish that I kind of stuck with it a little bit more. But see, I got involved with another podcast. It's called Dunks Podcast, Confederacy Dunks Basketball Podcast. I do that every week. That shit, we don't let slide. Every Wednesday it comes out. If you are a basketball fan, you should check it out. If you are a Raptors fan, definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. We've done 103 episodes. We just had our 100th episode a few weeks ago. Huge. Okay? We just had episode 103 come out today. It's a fun time. It's great. You'll love it. Please give us a rating on iTunes and Stitcher if you are a basketball fan. And the same goes for Podcast Fatboy. You got guff with me, you fucking leave a review. I don't give a shit. Give me them 5 stars. Give me 4 stars. I don't give a shit what you give me. Just give me a rating. You know what I mean on iTunes? I'm trying to move up. How else am I going to get Hal Johnson and Joanne McLeod on in the Charlie Bucket studio with me here? You know? And I want it lined up, you know, like I want them across from me in the bed, like Grandma Josephina, Grandma Georgina, okay? We've all got goals, you know? You know, some of my former guests, I think they were pissed at me because I took too long to get the episodes out, you know, and I think I burned some bridges, you know, but I didn't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry. I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to follow the Mark Maron method of podcasting, which take what you can from it, but don't follow it exactly. That guy is a machine, you know? If you start banking episodes, they're going to get lost in the fray. And that's what happened to me when it started. You know, I should have recorded and had them out immediately. Like I do now. This baby goes up today, April 10th. So let's move on, okay? Let's talk about Teflon, okay? I want you to watch a documentary for me. And I know. I'm the worst, you know, stereotype of a white guy. I wear AirPods. I watch a lot of documentaries. I don't question a lot of documentaries, you know, which you should. You really should. But there's some evidence in some of these docs. It's called The Devil We Know, I think it's called. And it's just about Teflon, essentially. It's the company that created Teflon. It's called DuPont. It's a huge corporation. And essentially, the craziest thing about it is this Teflon is in all of us. This chemical, this company the entire world has been contaminated by this chemical because of, you know, Teflon. It's in everything. This chemical, anything that's kind of non-stick, especially, you know, in the 60s, 70s, 80s, if you worked in that plant, most people died. If you lived nearby that plant and had a farm, all your goddamn animals are deformed and fucked up and dead. Like, it's bad. It's a nasty fucking chemical. It's like kind of an invincible chemical. You can't really destroy it, which is even more scary. And when they were testing people's blood, they were trying to get a clean sample from just anybody. And they had to go as far back as soldiers from the Korean War in the 50s to find a clean blood sample that didn't have this chemical in it because it was not created at that point. So, like, all of us, even you, vegan, have this fucking chemical in your blood. And, you know, I guess in minuscule amounts, it's okay. But I'm sure it's responsible for a lot of illnesses, a lot of cancers. It's killed a lot of people. And this corporation, it's literally poisoned people. And they just got slapped with like a shitty little fine, 15, 16 million. That's nothing compared to what they make. Nothing. That's not even close to a dent. And if we were to do this, as someone brings up in the documentary, if I were to poison you with this shit, I'd go to jail. If I was in the States, in many of their fucking redneck fucking states that they have there, I'd get the chair. I'd get fucking the needle for poisoning people. Fucking crazy. But if you're a corporation, it's just amazing what you can get away with. So they have stopped making this chemical, but they've made another chemical, and it's like they've hidden it with all these fucking different companies and stuff. So they're, you know, they're still out there harming us. And you got to be careful. That's all I can say. Get a fucking metal pan, a brass pan or something. You know, that's why all our old bubkas live for fucking ever. Because all they did was cook in a metal fucking pot. All their food simmered in a fucking pot. Simmered in a fucking roaster. You know? So you guys remember I was doing a fitness challenge. And I was like, this is a great idea. I'll do 1 push-up one day, and then the next day I'll do 2 push-ups. And I had like a bunch of exercises that I would do, and I just kept adding to it. I only made it to 13 because my shoulder is so fucked up. I don't know if it's from hockey. I don't know if it's from the push-ups. Because if you do not do push-ups correctly, you can severely damage your shoulders. It's irreversible. You gotta do them properly. Don't go too far out with your hands. Keep them about shoulder width apart and no more than that when you're doing a push-up. Because if you do too much, it puts too much pressure on the muscles in your shoulder and your deltoid, and it fucks it up. And I don't know if I've been trying to be very careful about it. I don't think it is from that because I don't feel pain when I do push-ups there. You know, you're supposed to be, the main target muscle is your pectoralis major, your pecs. But, you know, if you're not very strong there, you're going to use your secondary muscles. Your shoulders are going to chip in, you know, your traps, everything's going to try to help you out if you're fucking struggling. You know, that's what the body, all the muscles are friends. My friends, the muscles are friends. Help each other out, even if it fucking destroys you. So I had to stop at 13. I want to get back into it. I also want to like rest my shoulder, but I should still do the other ones. Even if I can't do push-ups, I should do the other ones. You know what I mean? It might have been from the dips. Fuck, I don't know. But I fucking hurt myself. So I've had problems with it before. As I said, hockey's almost done. I've got to think. I'm not playing softball this year. I did not feel like it was a good enough workout. I feel like I took it too seriously, and I feel like it is really rough on your body. When you see baseball players, give them a little credit because it is really tough on their bodies to just stand there and pick their ass and then run at full tilt and dive and make catches and sprint and run. And, you know, like, it's horrible for their bodies. No wonder, like, fucking Tulo, who got traded by the Jays, is all fucked up. He's all fucked up. But I am excited because it is fucking the 10th. It is Wednesday. Playoff hockey in the NHL fucking starts. It is so fun. Sorry. Really good hockey starting up. You know, also, I got sick again. Did I mention that? I got fucking sick again. This is 3 times in like 4 months. Now, this last one I had was like a minor chest cold that was going around. I went like almost 2 years without getting sick, and now 3 times in practically 3 months? This is fucking bullshit. I gotta start taking care of myself here. My immune system is fucked. I gotta start taking some B12 complex. That's what I gotta do. Oh, Jesus. So, lately, another sport I tried was curling. Have you ever played curling? Curling is what is known as the Great Canadian Game, right? Very Canadian game. What I learned is it's not Canadian at all. It's fucking Scottish. They've been playing that game for hundreds of years before the Canadians picked it up and made it better. Okay, so I'll give the Canadians credit for that shit, but this is a Scottish game. A fucking Scottish game that we play here. And I fucking was playing it at a friend's bachelor party. I fell on my fucking back. I slipped. I don't want to talk about why I slipped, but I fucking slipped, okay? And I didn't hit my head, but I landed on my upper back. It looked like I hit my head. People were very concerned. And the fucking asshole that runs the fucking shed or whatever the fuck it is, he was pissed that I slipped and fell. And I don't know if it was a liability thing. I think it was more that I embarrassed the integrity of the curling game. Because it's a real uppity motherfucking sport, curling. You think all Canadians do it? They fucking don't. A lot of old people do it. It's not a popular game amongst my friends, okay? My adult friends, yes, but when I was a kid, no one fucking curled. I didn't hear about anybody curling. We didn't have a curling rink. You know? It just fucking pissed me off that the guy didn't come down and first say, "Are you okay?" And then also, for next time, don't do this or that so you don't fucking fall. Uppity fucking bullshit. I was ready to fucking, like, train spotting throw a fucking mug at his head. He's lucky he didn't fucking come up to me after, because I would have fucking brought the ruckus, babe. I would have brought the fucking ruckus on that guy. Moving the fuck on. Have you heard about Nova Scotia? They've put something through where you automatically will donate your organs when you die. You do not have to sign a donation card anymore, allowing it. You can opt out of that. And I like this idea and I hate this idea. Because I do feel like it's a personal thing. I understand that if I need an organ to live, I'm going to really want someone to donate an organ, right? But it's still a personal decision to make. And a lot of people are religious. And a lot of people just aren't fucking comfortable giving their organs away, even if they're burning them up to a crisp like I'm going to fucking do. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be cool with that. I think I'd opt out. Which is shit, I know. You should donate your organs. It does save lives. You know, one body can save up to 6 to 10 people. That's crazy. That's pretty amazing. But it just, like, if a government is saying that they're going to take your organs when you die, you know, whether you like it or not, pretty much, it just kind of feels like, what's next, you know? Is it like, what if I'm comatose in the hospital? Will they take my fucking kidneys while I'm still alive? No, I do support it, though. I think it's a great thing, but I'm glad I don't have to make that decision, because I'm not currently an organ donor, and that's my personal opinion. I feel weird about it. I'm a paranoid person. I think that the black market for organs is still thriving and crazy. And I've always been a little nervous that someone could get a hold of that list to see who's ready and willing to fucking check their organs out. And, get in a car accident with me so I get my fucking organs. I don't know, man. I'm thinking about it too much. Are you taking a lot of night pisses? Are you pissing in the night? You getting up? Could say that you got high blood pressure if you're doing that, apparently. Read an article about that. You might want to go to your doctor if you're pissing a lot during the night. It also might mean that you're a drunkie and you're drinking too much. Like me, I probably drink a little too much. That's, it's funny, in the first episode, 5 years ago, I think we nailed it down. I drink too much. Drinking leads to eating poorly. I self-medicate with alcohol to, instead of taking Prozac or something. That's my depression medication. And that's not a good thing. I'm sure that if I quit drinking and went vegan for a couple months, I think you'd see the fucking weight fly off me. Am I ready to make that decision? Maybe. Because now we're looking to the next 5 years, people. Next 5 years. Can't wait. I'm going to end on this because we've been going quite a while now. We're at 33 fucking minutes. I got to get to work. I got to be drinking water because I got the hockey game tonight. Fucking IBs. Have you heard about fucking IBs? Just when you've read the news and you think that you're ready for the next thing that you've never heard of, you fucking hear about IBs. Okay? There was a woman in Taiwan who started complaining about some eye pain. They pulled 4 fucking bees out of her eye that were in there pretty much living off her tears. The salt in her tears. Apparently it helps to balance out the nectar and whatnot that they drink. They're also called sweat bees. These eye bees are sweat bees. They love human sweat. And they're apparently in Canada, too. And they will fucking swarm your ass. So if you got an eye pain and you don't know what it is, you think you got a goddamn hair or something in there, it might be a fucking few bees just chilling in your tear ducts. So that's something you got to worry about. If it weren't bad enough that I'm worrying about fucking ticks and snakes and shit all the time. Snakes aren't really a big one, but fucking ticks. It's getting summer again, so I'll get the tick fever going. Now I got to worry about fucking IBs. Jesus. Well, that pretty much wraps up Podcast Fatboy episode 40. That's something to celebrate. Am I right? That's fucking cool. I got to 40. You know, I only did 6 episodes last year. This will be the 4th of this year. You know, my goal is to amp it up a little bit, to get a few more in. Okay? So you guys can hear. If you've just stumbled upon this, congratulations. This is a fun time. You get to learn about me and my manic fucking rants. I'm going to be coming back to you with episode 41 very soon. We're going to talk about some more shit. Those people that have been with me since day one, thank you for listening. Thank you for rating the pod. I do appreciate it. Please also go over to Dunk's podcast. Check out the Raptors one. You can hear me there as producer on the pod, doing some fun things, always having good basketball chats. Thanks for chewing the fat with me. Thanks for trying to lose it with me. You know, it's a work in progress. It's always going to be a work in progress. So let's just, you know, try and stay positive in this fucking dark world. Have a couple of drinks. Do a couple crunches. And fucking keep smiling. Smiling. Sound good? All right, bye, guys.